Good afternoon. Can everyone see me? Can everyone hear me? Good afternoon to those who are joining live and to those who are going to be watching the replay. Good afternoon. My name is Severine Bryan of www.sevtalksmoney.com. Again, I'm Severine Bryan from sevtalksmoney.com. And I just want to share with you this afternoon just some tips and tricks to streamline your life. When I was growing up back home in Jamaica, every Saturday was cleaning day. Every Saturday we would clean the house from top to bottom. We would clean the floors. We would do the laundry. Just clean sheets, clean everything. We would, just everything would be cleaned on Saturdays. And at the end of the day, there is just a feeling of lightness in the air, for lack of a better description. Everything felt light because we had cleaned the house. We had cleaned, just the atmosphere felt light. And I think nowadays they call that feng shui. But back home in Jamaica years ago, we did that all the time. We did our feng shui all the time because everybody was busy during the week, going to school, going to work. Saturday was the day to do our cleanup, and again, the effect was of that cleanup was that everything just felt clean, everything felt light, everything felt together. And so today I want to share just a few things that we can do to capture that feeling, capture that lightness, because I have found that when we don't have a lot of clutter around us, that it makes our thinking better. It helps us to think better. It helps us to plan better. It helps us to strategize better when we don't have a lot of clutter around us. So one of the things I want to share to help to get us organized is our passwords. We everything nowadays require passwords, and in order for us to have everything together, if you were to get sick, if somebody were to pass away, would you know where to go to find your passwords? Would you know where to go to turn off recurring payments? Would you know where to go to shut down their social media pages? Would you know what to do? So today I want to suggest to you that you get a list of all passwords. Talk to your older relatives. Encourage your younger relatives, encourage everyone you know to get a list of your passwords and password protect that file. So you want to share that password with somebody you trust. So for me, what I've done is I have an Excel file that I list all my passwords, and it's password protected. And I have shared that password with two of my sisters who are my trustees for my estate. I have shared that with them. Now that my daughter is 20, I'll share that with her because I trust her. My daughter is not the kind of person who, if I put down money anywhere, she's going to touch it. So I've shared that. So what I've done is I have made a list of all my passwords on a spreadsheet, and I have password protected that spreadsheet. But I've also saved those passwords to some USB drives, because that way, if my computer were to crash, then I have backup in different places. And then I also printed a hard copy and put a copy of it in my safe. So I have created a way that people, if something were to happen to me, the people who would be taking over and helping to clear up my estate and to make sure everything goes okay, they don't have to scramble to figure out, where's my Facebook password? Do I have recurring payments? Just recently, we heard of the gentleman who was in his apartment and he was dead for over a year. And his apartment complex did not realize, because they were taking his payment for his rent out of his account. And I guess he had enough where it was being taken out every month automatically. So they had no reason to check, even though his car was in the parking lot and it was dusty. And you would think that would alert the apartment complex to say, hey, this car has been parked here for a while and it's just gathering dust. Who is it registered? Because they would have had a list of all of the license plates for all the vehicles for people who live there. So if there's a vehicle that's been parked there that's collecting dust, snow, and he was in the north, if I remember correctly, snow fell on it and it stayed there until it melted. The leaves fell on it. It was never clean. That would alert them, I would think, to say, hey, something is wrong. Let me check. But they were getting paid, so why should they bother? So you don't want your family to be in that position where you pass away or you were in the hospital or something happened and you can't speak and you can't tell them to stop automatic payments. So whatever automatic payments you have set up, somebody needs to know which bills you're paying automatically. So and what the passwords are for those accounts, so they can stop them. Because little things like these we sometimes don't think about, but these things can add up. Because if you have, let's say you have $20,000 in your bank account, and your rent is $1,000, your mortgage is $1,000, and you're doing it automatically. After a year, that's $12,000 that your family could have used for something else because you've passed away or something has happened to you and they have no contact with you, they have no passwords for you or anything, and they passed away, you passed away, and that money is just gone, and they could have used that money. So you want to consider having a list of passwords, printing a copy out and putting it in your safe deposit box, giving a list, or at least letting somebody know what your password is for that password protected file, and then have that file saved in some other electronic means, whether it's a password keeper or whatever. I just don't trust those password keepers personally, so I keep mine on Excel with a password and then on my USB drive. So that's something to consider. Let somebody you trust know where your passwords are, so that you're not paying insurance for a car that you're no longer driving because you're not on this earth, but they don't know that. Excuse me. Here's another thing to consider that can help to streamline your life. Get a notebook. I have several notebooks, and they're labeled for different things. I have an idea notebook. I have a notebook for my lives that I do. I have a notebook that I'm putting together right now for my pending podcast. So get ready for that. I have, different notebooks for different things. And so I don't know, you might be, before what I would have is little pieces of paper everywhere. Oh, let me jot that down. Let me jot that down. Let me jot that down. And you jot ideas all over and you have all these pieces of paper. There's no organization to it. So you want to consider having notebook, even if you want to get the notebooks that have the partitions and partition different parts for different things. You want to have that, because what that does is keeps everything organized in your life. So you know that, hey, you know what? I remember I was watching a podcast and they discussed investments. And I know they talked about this app, but I know exactly where to go to find that book, because I have a list of all the apps that people discuss and what they do. I have a list of that in my notebook. So if I want to think about, okay, now I'm ready to do payroll, but I remember my mentor, Nicole Walters, from NicoleWalters.com, saying, talking about this company that she used. So let me pull out my notebook and I can find that website. So you want to keep it's getting organized can only help you. For example, mail. When your mail comes in and and you have a lot of junk mail, you have a lot of, just throw it away right away. I typically, as I'm walking in from the mailbox, I would just throw it in the trash can on my way inside, because that way I'm not bringing it in my house to pile it up on my counter. because that thing it can add up. Before you know it, you have a pile of mail that you have to go through. So you want to try to handle it as it comes up. Somebody have the saying, eat the frog, meaning you want to do the things that you don't want to do first, because otherwise you go around your day, you go throughout your day, and you're thinking, oh yeah, I need to do that other task. Oh, I need to do the other thing. Oh, I need to do that. And every time you get a break, that's what you're thinking about, this thing that you need to do, and it spoils the enjoyment of your day, because you know that there's this thing that you need to get done, but you're putting it off because you just don't want to deal with the unpleasant thing. But what if you dealt with the unpleasant thing first, got that out of the way, and then you can deal with the things that you enjoy, or the things that you know is going to bring you more value. Because truth be told, the unpleasant thing, like sorting through junk mail, you might think it's not bringing me any value. It's not going to add any. It's not going to add a revenue to my life. It's not going to, but it's taking away from the joy of your life, because you know you have to deal with it, and it's piling up. So why not just deal with it and be done with it? So those are the things I just wanted to share. I just wanted to kind of jump on here just for a few minutes. And I plan to do these lives at 4:30 p.m. Eastern time every Sunday, as much as I can. If you do not see one from me, then that means something has happened where I can't do the live, but I will try to share that I'm going to be unable to do it that Sunday. But I'm going to try every Sunday to just kind of come on here and share some things, because even though my lane is finances and financial education, all this is part of it. Because if we don't have our lives organized, then everything seems so much more heavier than it ought to be, because you're running around. Just think about it. When you go grocery shopping and you don't have a list, and for me, what I do is I try to organize my day, and I'll say, okay, I need to go to Publix, which is right here. It's 3 miles from me. Then I have to go 2 more miles further from my house to go to Walmart, and then 3 more miles further to go to Sam's. So I put my list that way. So I'm going to whether I'm going to start at Publix and Walmart then Sam's, or go all the way to the end and come that way. I do that. That way my things organized. And even when I go through the grocery store, think about you going to the grocery store. You go to the left side and you have to come back to the right side, and you come back to the left side. How much time have you wasted just because you haven't organized? And you might say, oh, that's nothing. I'm just going grocery shopping. But think about what you could have done with that time that could be more, maybe bring you some income, maybe some kind of income. And when I say income in this sense, not necessarily money, it can be income in terms of income producing ideas, income in terms of connecting with somebody who could, and that connection could lead to income. So, using our time and structuring our day and structuring how we handle things it can only help us to handle the clutter, to handle handle the clutter, handle those things that can only bring us better results. So today I shared with you about passwords. Protect your password. And again, your data with passwords. Share it with somebody you trust. That one password that will protect your list of passwords. Share that with somebody you trust, and tell them where they can find the list. That way, if anything were to happen to you, they will be able to get to that list immediately, and they're not scrambling to find what it is that you want to have happen. And I share with you the gentleman that had his recurring payment set up, and he passed away. And for over a year, his apartment complex was taking that money out, and God knows what else. He probably had his insurance auto paid. He probably had loans auto paid. He probably had a bunch of stuff auto paid, and he was well paid because he was an ex-military, but then he was also working in some kind of contractor field in the military or military related organization. So he was well paid. So he had money and he had assets that they could touch while he was deceased. But unfortunately, his family didn't know. So they were taking all that money that his family could use. There was another case in a lady in the UK where she passed away and nobody knew for a while because her payments were set up automatically. And so they were going in and they were taking the money, paying for whatever it is that she had set up. And if somebody had known, that money could have been set aside and her family could have used that money. So again, take care of your passwords, take care of your password list. Take care of the cluttering around your house, clutter around your even your email. I just went through a couple of weeks ago and I unsubscribed from a bunch of things because I get so many emails that I'm just delete. I subscribe for that time for a purpose, but I didn't need it anymore. Or I may need it, but at least I know where to go now when I need it. But I'm getting 2, 3, 4 emails per week from that person or that organization, and I don't need that anymore. So I went through a spate of unsubscribe, and I just unsubscribed from a lot of emails. So now I have less emails to go through when I'm trying to keep my emails organized. And here's another tip about emails. What I do is I have more than one emails. I have the Gmail emails. I use those for business related things. And then even then I have one that's related to my SevTalksMoney.com account. Then I have a Gmail that's related to my LinkedIn and things like that. And then I have my Yahoo emails, and I have another one which I won't name that I do junk. So if I sign up for like say Sears, or if I sign up for Macy's, that's the one I give them, because all that email can go there. I don't care. You can go there because I'm not giving that email to people who I want to keep in contact with, like a college that I'm trying to apply to teach at, or like like LinkedIn, as I mentioned. Those emails are emails that I'm going to check every day. Emails like for those Sears and the Macy's and the Dunkin' Donuts and all those folks. It's one email that I only go in there occasionally, and most of the time I just go select, delete, because I really don't need that email for anything more than solicitations or anything like that. So that's another way to organize. Organize your emails based on preferences, based on the things that you're signing up for and the things that people you want to keep in touch with, and the people that maybe it's just a one-off. Organize your emails that way. Okay, so the next point that I made was your mail. Deal with it. Eat the frog, as my mentor said. Eat the frog. Take care of it right away, and then you can deal with this pleasant stuff later in the day. Okay, because that way that thing is not hanging around your neck. So I shared about passwords. I shared about recurring payments, how that's key to make sure somebody knows your password, because if you have recurring payments and anything were to happen to you, those payments are going to be coming out of your account, and they'll be able to stop it right away if they know you have recurring payments for these certain things. And the cluttering, I find that when I clear the clutter, I can think better. So you want to try to clear the clutter, clear as much as you can. That stuff that you've been saving for 2 years that you're going to use, those things that you moved 5 years ago and it's in the box and it's still in the box, but you're going to use it, throw it away. Throw it away. Give it away. You're not going to use it. Get rid of it, because it's just clutter that just causes you to have more things to focus on that you really don't need to focus on. You need to focus on the things that really make difference. I'm not a minimalist yet, but I'm striving to get there, because I tend to say that, oh, let me hold on to this. I might use it. And then when I move to this place, I'm like, no, I got to get rid of it, because this is a smaller place. And I'm even thinking of moving. This is a 3-bedroom, but I'm thinking of moving somewhere even smaller. Because as I get older, my daughter is now getting ready to go in. She has 2.5 more years of college, and she possibly will be on her own. I probably don't need much more than a 1-bedroom. So I need to get rid of stuff. So I've given away furniture. I've given away a lot of things, because do you really need 5 bedrooms? I don't know. Some people might just want that because they love to spread out. But I'm at the point in my life now. Earlier in my life, I probably would have wanted 5 bedrooms. I had the big house. But now I'm like, it's more to clean. And as long as I have a bedroom for me, a bed for my daughter, and a bedroom for guests, I don't care. I don't want all this other stuff. For somebody else, they might not be there yet, and I'm not condemning those people who want 5 cars and all that stuff. I'm just saying that's where I'm not there. I'm not there anymore because those things is more that you have to maintain. It's more that you have to take care of. So I'm at the point now where I don't want the big house. I don't want all this other stuff. And for those people who say, hey, that's a way to show that God has blessed you. No, who says you need that stuff? If that's the case, Jesus and the disciples were not blessed because they didn't walk around with all the material stuff. So let's stop that mess right now. Okay, so don't use that as an excuse. If you want to get a big house, get a big house. Don't talk about that a sign of being blessed, because a big house is not a sign of being blessed, especially when you're up to your eyeballs in debt to pay for that house. But anyway, let me get off my platform. I just want to share some tips about how you can streamline your life. So again, welcome to those who joined live, and welcome to those who are going to be watching this replay. Thank you so much for joining me. And again, I'm going to be starting to do these things at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time every Sunday as much as I can. And if I'm not able to do it, I will definitely share that I won't be able to meet that deadline for whatever Sunday. But today was just about sharing tips on keeping your life clutter-free. Last week, we shared about student loans, some tips on student loans. If you want to go find that live, go ahead and do that. And next week, we're going to talk a little bit about credit. So join me next week at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time, same place. Thank you so much. And again, this is Severin Bryan of SevTalksMoney.com. And before I go, let me see if anyone has any questions on anything, even if it's not related to today's topic about streamlining. If anyone has any questions, I'm going to give you a minute to type it in the chat, and I will do my best to answer. Any questions on anything money related, or even if it's on the periphery of money? Okay, so I'm not seeing any questions pop up. So again, thank you so much for watching, and you can check this replay will be posted shortly, and the one from last week should still be on the Bryan Financial Empowerment LLC Facebook page. Thank you so much, and God bless.